In kitchens, as in nature, transformation often begins quietly. A handful of simple elements, flour, sugar, fat, and heat, come together to form something far greater than their individual parts. At first, there is no structure, only soft mixtures, shapeless and incomplete. But under the influence of time, motion, and temperature, they begin to change. Today, 4 distinct forms emerge from this process, each shaped by a different balance of ingredients, each revealing a different texture, a different identity. The first transformation is one of control. Butter and sugar are brought together and beaten at speed. At first dense, the mixture begins to soften, lightening as air is drawn into it. What was heavy becomes almost weightless, a structure built not just from ingredients, but from trapped air. Egg and yolk follow, binding and enriching. Vanilla settles quietly into the mixture, subtle but essential. Then come the dry elements: flour, salt, and baking powder. They are added carefully, just until the dough forms, no more. Overworking would strengthen the gluten, tightening what should remain delicate. The dough is shaped, flattened, and placed into the cold. Here, time takes over. The butter firms. The structure stabilizes. What was soft becomes controlled, ready to hold form. When brought back and rolled, the dough spreads evenly beneath the pressure of the pin. A smooth, uniform surface. Shapes are cut, each one precise, identical. In the oven, the change is restrained. There is no dramatic rise. Instead, the dough sets. The edges firm gently, turning just slightly golden. Moisture escapes. Structure holds. Once cooled, the cookies are stable, almost architectural. This is a transformation defined not by expansion, but by control, precision, and restraint. The second transformation carries depth. Butter and shortening combine with sugars, forming a dense and rich base. Into this, molasses is added, dark, viscous, carrying the concentrated memory of sugarcane. It changes everything. Egg and vanilla follow, then spices, cinnamon, ginger, cloves. Each brings warmth, complexity, a sense of something older, slower. Flour is added gradually, forming a dough that is softer, heavier, more fluid than the first. Scooped into rounded portions, the dough rests briefly before entering heat. Inside the oven, the transformation unfolds differently. Sugars melt and spread. The cookies expand outward rather than upward. Then comes the final layer. A smooth icing is prepared, fluid and pale. Each cookie is dipped, its surface coated, excess dripping away. As it settles, the icing firms, creating a thin shell over the soft interior. This is a transformation shaped by richness, where depth replaces lightness and warmth defines the result. The third transformation is one of abundance. Butter and peanut butter are beaten together with sugars until the mixture becomes smooth and creamy. Fat and sugar combine, forming a dense, energy-rich base. Eggs and vanilla bind it further, strengthening the structure. Then come the dry elements: flour, oats, baking soda, and salt. The mixture thickens, becoming textured, substantial. But this is not a restrained mixture. Chocolate chips and colorful candies are folded through, each one introducing variation, pockets of sweetness embedded within the dough. Large portions are placed onto the baking sheet, spaced apart. They will spread. Inside the oven, the edges begin to set first. Heat works from the outside inward, creating a contrast between structure and softness. They are removed before fully baked. This is deliberate. Residual heat continues the process, allowing the centers to remain soft while the edges stabilize. As they cool, the cookies settle into their final form. Firm at the edges, soft at the center, filled with variation in every bite. This is a transformation defined by contrast, between textures, between elements, between control and excess. The final transformation is guided by form. Butter and powdered sugar are beaten together until smooth and airy. The mixture lightens, becoming soft and pliable. Extracts are added, subtle layers of flavor beneath the surface. Milk and flour follow, forming a dough that is neither stiff nor loose, but perfectly balanced, ready to be shaped. This dough is not rolled, it is guided. Placed into a pastry bag, it is pressed outward through a shaped tip. With each movement, the dough forms patterns, curves, ridges, defined edges. Each cookie is shaped before heat is ever applied. Placed onto the baking surface, they hold their form. Inside the oven, the transformation is gentle. The butter melts slightly, then sets. The edges firm and turn lightly golden. The shapes remain intact, preserved by careful balance. Once cooled, some are dipped into melted chocolate. The chocolate coats the surface, then hardens, adding a second structure, a new layer of texture. Sprinkles may follow, settling into place before the chocolate sets.